All right, welcome. So, if you're a first-year psychology student, you know you're not just dealing with deadlines, right? You're diving headfirst into the intense complexities of the human mind. So, let's think of this as your personal survival guide, not just to get through it, but to actually thrive.
Look, starting university is a massive adjustment for anybody. But when your major is psychology, you're not just reading about stress and burnout in a textbook. You're actually at a really high risk of living it. I mean, diving that deep into the human mind, that is some seriously demanding work.
And that is exactly why we need to talk about self-care. Seriously, it's not some fluffy indulgence or an excuse to slack off. Think of it as an essential skill set. It's your secret weapon for staying balanced, for avoiding that dreaded burnout, and honestly, for performing at your absolute best.
Okay, so before we can start building better habits, we've got to be real about where we're starting from. So let's do a super quick self-assessment, just a little check-in to see how you're really doing.
So for the next few slides, I just want you to think about your honest answer. Is it almost never, sometimes, or almost always? No judgment. Let's start with this one, your self-talk. How often do you actually speak to yourself with the same kindness you'd give to a good friend?
Next up, sleep. Come on, we all know those late-night study sessions are a real thing. But be honest, how often are you truly getting that deep, restorative sleep your brain is crying out for to, process all that new info?
And what about this? Really think about your day. Is it mostly just moving from the lecture hall to the library back to your room? How often do you actually get outside, just to take a breath and feel the sun on your face?
And finally, let's talk about the absolute basics. Our brains are basically running on water, right? So are you actually staying hydrated through your crazy busy days? It sounds so simple, but it makes a huge difference. Okay, so whatever your answers were, don't sweat it. The goal here isn't perfection, it's just awareness. Now that we have a bit of a baseline, let's dive into some really practical tools to help you refill that tank. All right, let's get to the good stuff. We're going to build your emergency stress kit. These are the quick, fast-acting tools for those moments, the ones when you feel that wave of overwhelm creeping in, like right before a big presentation or when you're just staring at a blank page.
So you've only got like a minute between classes or right before you crack open a textbook? This little micro retreat can totally reset your nervous system. It's just a conscious pause, but it can literally stop a stress spiral dead in its tracks.
The power of a simple phrase like this, it's actually incredible. A mantra isn't about, pretending your problems don't exist. Not at all. It's about anchoring yourself right here, in the present, and reminding your brain that in this exact moment, you are fundamentally okay, and not alone can completely reframe your entire mindset.
And check this out. This technique shows how you can go from total chaos to clarity in just 3 minutes. It's such a powerful combo. You notice your thoughts without getting tangled up in them. You use your breath to calm your body down, and then you use gratitude to actively retrain your brain to find some balance. It's brilliant.
Okay, let's go a little deeper now. Because feeling completely wiped out, it's not always about needing more sleep. A lot of the time, burnout actually comes from a deficit in one of 6 key areas of rest. And I'm telling you, getting your head around this concept is a total game changer.
So first up, we've got physical rest. This is the one we're all familiar with, right? It can be passive stuff like sleeping or napping, but it's also active things like gentle stretching, a bit of yoga, or even just putting your feet up to let your body really recover. Now, as a psych student, your brain is pretty much always on, so mental rest, it's absolutely crucial. This just means giving your mind a break from all that problem solving and constant information processing. You gotta step away from the textbooks and do something that doesn't need intense focus for a while. Next up is social rest. And this is a two-parter, really. Sometimes it means you just need some time alone to recharge your batteries. But other times, it's about being really intentional with who you hang out with, spending time with people who lift you up and energize you, instead of, the ones who just drain you. Let's face it, we live in a world of just constant stimulation, notifications, bright screens, noise in the background all the time. Sensory rest is all about intentionally giving your senses a break. Just close your eyes for a minute, unplug from your phone, and just enjoy the quiet. Then there's emotional rest. This is all about having the space to just be you, to be authentic and not feel like you have to put on a performance for everybody. It's about setting boundaries, getting comfortable saying no, and dialing back on the people-pleasing so you're not carrying around everyone else's emotional baggage. And finally, we have spiritual rest. Now, this is about connecting to something bigger, a deeper sense of purpose and belonging. For you, maybe that's meditation or community work, or maybe it's just spending some quiet time in nature to feel like you're part of a bigger picture.
Okay, let's get even more hands-on with some techniques that send a direct message of, hey, you're safe to your nervous system. These are all about helping you shift out of that constant fight or flight stress mode.
One really powerful and super discreet method you can use literally anywhere is acupressure. All it is applying some firm but gentle pressure to specific points on your body. For example, try pressing the spot right between your eyebrows. Some people call it the third eye point. Just hold it for a minute and it can really help with clarity. Another great spot is on your inner wrist, about 3 finger widths down from your palm. Applying pressure right there can seriously help reduce anxiety, even if you're in the middle of a lecture.
And here are a few more super simple physical things you can do anywhere. Focusing on a longer exhale than your inhale directly tells your body it's safe to relax. Slowly turning your head from side to side is like your body scanning for threats and realizing, hey, there are none. Gently rubbing your arms or even giving yourself a hug releases oxytocin, that's the love hormone, which helps fight off stress. And believe it or not, humming or singing actually stimulates your vagus nerve, which helps regulate your whole system.
So the big question is, how do we put all of this together? Look, the goal is not to give you another overwhelming to-do list. Not at all. It's about building a sustainable practice that actually works for you. And the key is focusing on consistency, not perfection. So when you look at this, I really want you to think of it as a blueprint, not another stressful list of things you have to do. Just pick 1 or 2 things to focus on. Maybe this week, it's all about making sleep a real priority. And then maybe next week, you work on practicing some self-compassion and catching that inner critic when it pops up.
So, to wrap things up, I want to leave you with this one question. Just for a moment, forget about all the big, grand plans. Self-care isn't some destination you'll get to someday. It's a choice you make right here in the present moment. Your journey to a more balanced, more successful first year starts right now with just one small step. So, what's yours going to be?